Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and welcome back to my Villeneuve series. And I'm doing this series in honor of Dune 2021. I'll be reviewing all of Denis Villeneuve's movies from Polytechnic through Blade Runner 2049. I've already covered Polytechnic and Incendies. If you'd like to check those reviews out, there will be a playlist link in the eye in the right-hand corner. But for today, I'm going to be diving into the movie that introduced me to Denis Villeneuve for the very first time, and I have not been the same since. It's Prisoners. This movie starred Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Maria Bello, and Terrence Howard, among others. And like I said, this is the movie that introduced me to Denis Villeneuve for the very first time. It tells the story of a man named Keller Dover, played by Hugh Jackman. He has a beautiful family, a wife, played by Maria Bello, a son, and as well as a young daughter. He's friends with another family. The patriarch is played by Terrence Howard. They both share a thing in common in that they both have young daughters. Things are going great. They are all together for Thanksgiving. What could go wrong? Well, a kidnapping, that's what. Both of their daughters mysteriously disappear, and the prime suspect is a very challenged man named Alex Jones, played by Paul Dano. However, as the police and the man in charge of the case, named Detective Loki, no, not that one, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, get into the meat of the case, they find that maybe Alex Jones didn't do it after all. And basically, this is Hugh Jackman's delving into the mouth of madness. I gotta be honest with you all, rewatching this kinda hurt me. Because I remember watching this for the very first time with my dad in the theaters, and I don't think I've ever quite recovered, to the point where I'm not sure if I can make it through. So I enlisted some backup and the help of my very good friend Jacob Martin. He has an excellent YouTube channel where he reviews movies as well, and he was more than gracious enough to help me tackle this beast. So I'm going to be tagging in Jacob, and he's going to take it from here. Jacob, take it away.
What's going on, Ryan and all the viewers of Ryan Cam's YouTube channel? Thank you, Ryan, for having me be a part of your video review for Prisoners, Denis Villeneuve's masterpiece of a film from 2013. Thank you, Ryan, for having me be a part of this video. I've been a fan of your channel for a while. I've had Ryan on my channel a couple times. We reviewed movies like The Great Dictator from Charlie Chaplin and The Lost Weekend from Billy Wilder. And once again, thank you for having me be on your channel for the first time talking about this incredible film. I'm sure Ryan's already brought up the plot of Prisoners. This movie takes some very raw, real subject matter. It involves child kidnappings, and it explores the ethical questions about how far would you go if your children were missing and abducted, and how far would you go above the law to find the abductors and to bring the children back safely. I think this movie is absolutely gripping from beginning to end. Denis Villeneuve is an incredible filmmaker. He brings so much to the table. There's a gripping character drama within this film with believable characters and incredible raw acting within this film, especially Hugh Jackman as the father, determined to bring his children back. I think this movie is brilliantly executed. There's an intense thrill ride from start to finish with the mystery going on. The drama in this is absolutely captivating. The cast in this movie is phenomenal. Hugh Jackman, I'd say, gives easily the best performance of his entire career. Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic as ever as a detective who clashes with Hugh Jackman throughout, but he too is on the case, and I love seeing the mystery side within his character. There's other great performances in here. We got Terrence Howard, Viola Davis, Melissa Leo, Maria Bello. Everybody in this movie delivers their A-game. Paul Dano, I forgot to mention him. He's great in here as well. Everyone in this movie is excellent, and they play believable, real characters to where there's some parts of the film that feel like you're watching a real story unfold. That's how brilliant Denis Villeneuve's direction is. The film is shot by Roger Deakins. Every time Roger Deakins shoots a movie, it always captivates you because he brings so much energy with every single shot of this movie. Every single shot looks like a beautiful painting come to life. Which, even though this is a dark, grimy film with uncomfortable subject matter, intense imagery throughout, it's very brutal to watch at times because of how violent it can be. But the cinematography in this movie is still stunning, even with the darker imagery. Roger Deakins finds a way to make everything look beautiful, even in the darkness. There's one scene near the end with Jake Gyllenhaal driving his police car in the pouring rain. I'm not going too deep into spoilers here, but the scene always leaves you on edge, but it's still visually dazzling to watch. And that blend between the cinematography and the directing is absolutely brilliant. The score in here is intense and it leaves you on edge throughout with how ominous the score is throughout. I think the mystery is really, really good. I've seen this film twice in my life now, and I picked up on more details the second time than I did the first time, because the first time you do miss out on a couple things and it can seem very overwhelming. And because of how layered the story is, there's a lot of suspects, there's some red herrings thrown in there, and there's a lot of stuff that's thrown at you, but it pays off in such an excellent way. I think the themes in this movie are actually really good the more you learn about what's actually going on. There's actually some religious undercurrents in this movie because Hugh Jackman's character is a man of faith, but his faith is put to the test when his daughter and his daughter's friend are abducted. And the stuff and ethical challenges that come to the table and what his character ends up doing, it definitely leaves you thinking. And when you learn what's actually going on, there's definitely some compelling drama going on in there related to faith and other things along the way and people's relationship with God. And I know both you and me, Ryan, we have religious backgrounds, so I feel like that was something to bring up to the table. That aspect of the movie I thought was done very, very well. And honestly, I would rather watch a movie like Prisoners, which explored these themes better than like half of the low-budget Christian movies which are out, which executes the message badly. Prisoners is absolutely fantastic in that regard. Prisoners is one of my favorite movies that came out in the 2010s decade. It's one of the most gripping dramas that I've ever seen. Everything in this movie feels so real and believable, and the way the character drama is executed. Everybody feels like real characters. You see where everybody is coming from, and that makes the story so compelling and fascinating. The mystery is excellent. The movie ends on a very ambiguous note, but I think Villeneuve ends it in such a way where, yeah, there's resolution to the story, but he still ends it in such a way where even though it looks like things are left unresolved, it still has clear answers to where you can piece together where the story's going to go, and it's still very satisfying to me by the end of the day. I love Prisoners as a whole. It's to date my favorite Denis Villeneuve film, and he's made some great films over the years. I also love Arrival, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, and Incendies, just to name a few. But of the Denis Villeneuve films I have seen, Prisoners is easily my favorite film in his entire career. It's one of his most rewatchable films for sure, and it captivates me and floors me from start to finish. I don't have any negatives with this film. It's a fantastic film in every way. I'm giving the film a 5 out of 5 stars. I have a 100-point scale on my channel that grades all these movies, and on that scale, it's getting a 100 out of 100. It's an absolutely fantastic movie, and if you haven't seen Prisoners, it is definitely worth checking out. So thank you, Ryan, for having me be a part of this video collab with you talking about Prisoners. You messaged me at the right time because I'm doing a director project over on my channel on Denis Villeneuve. And as you were messaging me, I was at Prisoners and I did a collab review on my channel a while ago with Jennifer Vega. So I ended up watching the movie and filming 2 different videos at the same time talking about Prisoners. It's an honor talking about one of my favorite movies twice at the same time. And thank you, Ryan, for having me be a part of this video with you. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this amazing film. I'm sure Ryan will leave links in the description below where you can check out my YouTube channel. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos, and other fun stuff along the way. Also, give Ryan some love. He's a very awesome YouTuber. I love the content that he brings on this channel. Ryan, I won't hog up too much of your time, so back to you on Prisoners.
Shout out to Jacob for being a part of this video. Like he said, I will leave his channel link in the description of this video. He has a fantastic channel. Go check him out because he's extremely underrated and deserves more subscribers. But yeah, there's pretty much his thoughts are similar to my own. I love this movie. It is a dickens of a movie to watch. But there's so much craft to this movie that honestly, it's hard to watch, but it's also beautiful all at the same time. It's a weird paradox. I'm going to try my hardest to not go over some things that Jacob may have covered, but like I said, a lot of my feelings are similar to his. This is the first movie where Denis Villeneuve teamed up with Roger Deakins, probably the best cinematographer going today. And it shows. Deakins is just a genius cinematographer, and there are so many shots that are just disturbing and gorgeously composed all at the same time. Again, paradox. Even though this movie takes place in rather mundane places like police stations and residential neighborhoods, every shot feels like it's out of some other place. It's kind of like David Fincher's Seven. Even though it takes place in what you would think is an American city, it feels like it takes place in a completely different dimension. And of course, the acting in this movie is absolutely brilliant. Hugh Jackman is one of my favorite actors, probably of all time. The range that man has to go from someone like Curly in Oklahoma, or P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman, to Wolverine, or Keller Dover in Prisoners, is just incredible, and I think, conservatively, this may be his very best performance, and that's coming from someone who's had a lot of great performances. Throughout the movie, Keller Dover slowly evolves into someone that you don't recognize in the first few scenes you see of him, and it's completely understandable as to why. However, there were parts of the movie where I'm just like, dude, I get it, but still, that's not cool. Throughout this movie, I was consistently drifting towards this great quote from the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. The quote goes a little something like this: "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you." I will not be spoiling this movie, however, there are more than a few times where Keller Dover becomes a monster, and, well, he stares into the abyss for so long that the abyss grabs even larger chunks of his soul to become someone that we don't even recognize anymore. And again, it's framed around the fact that his daughter has been kidnapped, so in an objective sense, he's in the right. However, the choices that he makes are so in the wrong that you're just sitting there like, can I even cheer for you anymore? Like, what am I supposed to do here? Because throughout the movie, you see that Alex Jones, played by Paul Dano, appears to be the guy who kidnapped the girls, and Keller Dover becomes convinced that it is this guy. However, as more facts are revealed, you realize that, yeah, Alex Jones is a little challenged upstairs, but I don't think that he had a hand in any of this. But Dover sees red, and there are certain scenes involving Jones and Dover that are just some of the more disturbing that Villeneuve has ever done. Let's just say there's some things involving Dover, Jones, and a shower that are very hard to watch. It goes to a certain point that Terrence Howard, whose daughter is also kidnapped, looks at Dover and says, "Keller, what have you done?" Every character operates in shades of gray to where you're thinking you're starting on the righteous path, but then everything gets so muddled to where things you would think someone wouldn't do, they do anyway. I think the closest in terms of morality that I've seen to this is probably Breaking Bad. But Jackman's not the only actor here. There is Terrence Howard, like I mentioned. He's brilliant. Melissa Leo, she's great here as well. Maria Bello is heartbreaking as Keller's wife. And then there is Jake Gyllenhaal as Detective Loki. This guy is just... he pulls in a great performance like always. He's Jake Gyllenhaal, so of course he does. But you get the frustration that he's going through because Dover is breathing down his neck like, where is my daughter? I want my daughter. Where is she? And Loki's like, we're going through every lead that we can. And Dover's just not having it. There is an amazing scene in a car where just Dover just curses Loki out. He's like, why aren't you looking for my daughter? And Loki's like, we are doing everything. And it's just... oh, I'm getting PTSD just thinking about it. But it's done so well that you're just... oh, it's just... oh man, paradox. Paradox. And like most of Denis Villeneuve's movies, he adheres to his theory of it doesn't matter how dark you get as long as you offer a kernel of hope. Again, no spoilers for the ending, but let's just say there is a small kernel of hope. It's not huge, but it's there. In the words of Bill Engvall, not by much, but enough. At the end of the day, Prisoners, I believe, is among Denis Villeneuve's best movies, and really, that's saying as a filmmaker who has had nothing but quality. I formally petition that Polytechnic, Incendies, and Prisoners be renamed Denis Villeneuve's Pain Trilogy. Copyright and trademark. This movie is just excellent, and again, similar to Incendies, you need to be fully prepared for what you are going to be watching. However, doesn't change the fact that when you do watch this movie, you will be blown away by everything. But that is all from me. Thank you so much as always for watching. Thank you to Jacob again for contributing to this video. Channel link will be in the description. I hope to have him on the channel again in the future because I love collaborating with him and I'm super grateful that he could be a part of this. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam. I'll see you in the next one.